used to worry a lot about what people thought of me. And there's this quote about, I think it's like George Bernard Shaw, about how you'd worry, a lot less about what people think of you, once you realize how seldom they do. Like most people actually don't really care that much. But we're all trapped in this. We're all trapped in thinking about our actions, our behavior, our decisions as, what's somebody going to think. And I actually think it's very empowering to be able to say, what is important to me? What is important to me? And to ask questions of yourself, because often it's not just other people that are holding you back. Like you're the one that's holding you back very often. And so I just kind of learned to ask these why questions. Why do I used for a long time, I had this like screensaver on my laptop. And whenever I open the laptop, it says like, why are you doing this? Basically. So I kind of have to like look at that every time. Like, why am I doing this? Like we get in these patterns of, this is my routine. I'm just doing this by rote. And so I started questioning that more and more, and that helped me to make better decisions, and ended up developing this into, a bit more of a philosophy and a community that people have kind of latched onto. But ultimately it's about thinking for yourself, choosing for yourself, and also trying to make the world a better place. So I don't think they're exclusive.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. And by the way, would you say that's what inspired the World Domination, or was the World Domination inspired Art of Non-Conformity?
I started the Art of Non-Conformity first, and then I wrote a manifesto called A Brief Guide to World Domination. That was like just outlining some of my ideas. I liked a very provocative title, like people are passing it around and stuff. And then from there, I was like, let's bring everybody together. I was doing meetups in different cities when I was traveling. It was really interesting because the people who came out, they all had their own story. They're all like working on stuff, and they often felt maybe misunderstood, by some people around them. A lot of them did want to start a business, and they were in kind of traditional jobs. They were trying to figure out how to navigate that. So I was like, let's bring everybody together, and I called it the World Domination Summit. So it kind of grew from there. So we've been doing that for 9 years now.
I love that title, World Domination Summit. Now, the concern would be, is your last name a German last name?
It is not.
That's just one.
The other thing is like, you choose something like 9 years ago, and you kind of live with it for a long time. Like maybe I wouldn't call it that necessarily now, for a variety of reasons, but that's okay. It is what it is.
I love it. I just have to tell you, I love the freaking title, and I don't know the number, but I saw somewhere around 10,000 people have come over the years, and you put some great events together, which is great. But let's go back. Let's go now back to the if you were 14 years old, right? It's a different world today, 14, than when you and I were 14. I don't know what the number is. 14 was what? 29 years ago for us, right? When we were 14. That sounds like a long time. So when you and I were 14, I made money. I would buy 99-cent hats and I would sell them for $7. I'd buy cards and I would flip them. I'd buy, hats, shoes, a bunch of weird things that I would sell, right? But I wonder what we would do if we were 14 today in high school. So I'll turn it to you. How would you make money today as a young teenager, young entrepreneur at 14 years old?
So I think this is really interesting because, no doubt so much has changed, as you said, in all those years. I can't believe it's been, 29 years, as you said. So much has changed, like the iPhone wasn't out then. Now we have all these different platforms, we're much more connected than we were, et cetera, new business models. However, the way that you got started in business, the way that I got started, it's actually still quite relevant. Like reselling is still very accessible. Most of it hasn't changed that much. Like most of it in terms of like you're trying to find the 99-cent hat, maybe it costs like $5 now, but you're trying to sell that for $30 or whatever. And people can do that. There's all kinds of, and like there's so many platforms now with like Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp and Gumtree and all kinds of others. Without a lot of capital at all, $50, even if you don't have any money, you can start with the stuff that you already have, like sell your own stuff and then use that $50 to buy other stuff. It's a process, and that may not be, what you end up doing for your whole life, like you're going to go on to other stuff. But by doing that, you're going to learn about marketing. You're going to learn about how to accept payments. You're going to learn about customer service. You're going to learn about copywriting. All these kind of skills that will help. So I think that's always a great first start. The second thing would be, okay, so once you have a little bit of experience, now, it doesn't really matter if you're 14. Anyone can have a website that's actually like doing some kind of e-commerce thing. Anybody can offer a service, online. Nobody cares if you're 14. Like, it's not really relevant. It's like, what is the product? What is the service? So there, I feel like, we could look at all sorts of different things, but it depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to just make some money and get into it really quickly, make more money than you would, working, at a restaurant or something, then you can do that today.
So if you like this little short clip from an interview I did, click over here to watch the entire interview. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.